Oh, yeah! Yeah! What's up, everybody? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. What a week. What a week. Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel, where I stream every single day now. I stream it every day, every single day. Why not? Let's talk horror every day of the week. It has been so much fun, ladies and gentlemen. What a week for news. What a week for Scream. What a week for horror in general. Oh my God, there's been a lot to talk about. Some great new releases came out this week. We got some exciting movies coming out next week, like Hard Eyes, which I can finally talk about a little more today. Still spoiler free. I won't spoil anything because that would suck. But so much to talk about. Oh my God. So I was going to put out a big Scream video today, which I'm sure many of you are like, what the fuck, Jake? Where's the Scream video? You said on the stream last night there would be some kind of Scream video. Well, I was in the middle of writing it, and we got more Scream news from Daniel Richtman, third-party source, just reported that maybe, just maybe, Skeet Ulrich, Billy Loomis is somehow back to return as well. And now, if that's the case, obviously the conversation goes to a different place, and I'm sure we'll get into that in a video tomorrow, and probably tonight, too, I imagine. I'm going to apply this lip balm in front of all of you to make you all really uncomfortable, and then we're going to talk horror. All right. Now after that uncomfortable stare, let's get into it. But of course, Scream is obviously the big topic of the week with everything that's been announced. Bunch of returning cast members from previous movies. What the fuck is going on? But there is a lot of other things to talk about as well. Feel free to share whatever the heck you want relating to horror down in the chat below. We could also talk about other movies too, but but let's not talk about adult films though. That's the one thing that's off the table tonight. And Sofia Coppola movies. We're not talking about Sofia Coppola movies, damn it. Actually, I don't care. We can talk about those too. That was just a random thought. Laura's death is the best in the most recent one, or the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Yeah, that is the best one. That's one of the best ones. She gets her head run over, right? Like Winnie the Pooh slowly crushes her skull. I had Natasha on the page recently, Alexa, who plays Laura in the film. She's great. She was a lot of fun to talk to. Her and Steven Stolly came on the page, and they talked a little bit about a new horror movie that they're making. So if you want to go check that out, it's a little interview I did with them. Really fun time chatting with those two. It was cool. It was a really good, really fun little interview. Definitely check it out. Gunner's with us tonight too, saying, hey Jake, now that Roman and stuff are back, Roman and his stuff are certainly back, let me tell you. I'm desperately holding on to a wish that Jill will make a return. Definitely not because of my past childhood crush on Emma Roberts. Gunner, I'm saying the same thing, buddy. Listen, if you're gonna bring back all the killers for whatever reason, bring back Emma too, man. Jill's a staple of those first couple of movies. Come on now. That'd be awesome. I also want to say I'm live on Kick as well. So hello, people of Kick, if you're over there. Hi. Hello. I know most of you are probably here on YouTube, but if you're hanging out on Kick, please say hello. Make yourself known. What is up, the people of Kick and the people of YouTube, of course. Hey, Jake. Remember when I said justice for Stu? You're right, Catbread. You were right. There will be justice for Stu-stice, one might say. I guess Stu really has been jerking off for 30 years, like you said. Yes, he has. Well, we don't know. Of course, it's just a theory as of right now. But it is funny to think about, isn't it? I do think it's really funny that I can say that a fictional character was jerking off in a YouTube video, but I can't write the word "but" on X anymore. I just tried to reply to somebody who was tweeting at me, and I couldn't write the word "but" in the tweet. What the fuck? What's going on, dude? I will continue to swear on this YouTube channel, just so you guys know. Some things will change on this channel over time, of course, but one thing that won't, hopefully, is that I will continue to say the F word. But I don't know. I just think that's really funny. Roman will be giving Stu some pointers, says Villain Killin' Dylan. Thank you for being a member, Dylan. Or the opening kill will be Maureen Prescott. We finally get to see it. All these years later, we finally get to see what happened to Maureen. I mean, I'm into it. I could get into something like that. I think that would be fun. We've been talking about it for the longest time on this page about doing a Scream prequel where, you actually get to see the fellas when they're young again and like doing all this. Maybe we get some new revelation about the kill that we didn't know or something. You guys know my opinion on this. I'm not crazy about going back to the past. I feel like we've told this story. But if we do want to show this, it might be really fun. Might be a really cool way to build upon the original Scream, which if they can find something new there, I'm not against it. I'm not totally closed-minded, I promise. I'm very open-minded to a lot of weird Scream things. And if they can find something else with this scene that maybe we didn't know still 30 years later, and they have a really good reason to do it, I'm open-minded, man. I'm open-minded. I'd be down to give it a shot if it works. Speaking of shots, we got Shot by Shot here saying, Jake, I emailed you my short film. I'm going to check it out soon. I crashed today. I was halfway through a script. More Scream news came out, and I said, you know what? It's self-care time. it's time for a little self-care. I am exhausted. I had a 16-hour workday yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. So if I came off as a little rough around the edges on stream last night, it's because I've gotten very little sleep this week. But we're rocking and rolling today. I got a little nap in, watched a good horror movie, Grafted on Shudder. Oh my God, maybe my favorite horror film of 2025 so far. Banger. But I'm going to check out this short film by Shot as well as soon as this stream ends. Who wins this fight, Bart Simpson or Art the Clown? Bart the Clown? Hang on there. There's some potential. There's some potential here, Marley Kai. Oh no. That's got to be a new Treehouse of Terror episode, right? Come on now. That's great. Tatted Ginger's hanging out with us over on Kick. Hello, Poop Lady. Thanks for hanging out there. Appreciate you. Thanks for helping me build a following on a new platform. Oh, that's exciting. Reign of Horror saying, hey, everyone. Hope all is well. Same to you, Reign of Horror. Treyway Lifeboy. Treyway Lifeboy. I love it. What's up, Treyway? How you doing? How you doing, dog? Bunch of squares. You know, sometimes that's all that goes around in this brain. Just like the DVD menu logo, just bouncing from corner to corner. That's why my forehead is so perfectly square like this, or rectangular, one might say. RJ Skarenki is saying, let's celebrate on the stew train tonight. You're goddamn right. I'm buying my ticket. I got to go to the conductor at some point. And we gotta make this happen. But yes, I'm a passenger on the stew train now. Let's go. Stu's back. He has electrical powers. He's Palpatine now. Somehow Stu returned. Erica is saying, hey. Hi, Erica. What's up? Thanks for modding tonight. I have so much energy. I'm so excited. I love when weird shit happens like this in the space because it gets everyone up in arms. And everyone's got an opinion. It's so exciting. It's the best times to talk horror when crazy, weird, controversial stuff like this happens. Jacob Wells, what's up, Jacob? I love your name, dog. Are you excited for Stu's return in Scream 7? You bet I am. I can't wait. I can't wait for Wizard Stu to float in the air in his like shiny ghost face robe. it's when Gandalf comes back in the Two Towers. It's gonna be the same scene. He's back. he's using electrical powers. He like fucked off for a little bit, leveled up, and then came back. That's all that happened. It's the same thing as Gandalf. Oh my God, that's too funny. Also, Jake, what the fuck is happening with horror right now? Holy shit, man. Especially Scream 7, it's gonna be absolutely nuts. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening with horror. Some really cool releases coming out. Again, I got to see Heart Eyes early. Super thankful for that. It was a lot of fun. And again, if you like the most recent Scream movies, I said this in my review today, but if you like the most recent Scream movies, you liked Thanksgiving, you liked a lot of the other Spyglass slashers, this is another fun one, man. I had a good time with it. Definitely check it out next week. Let me know what you guys have to say. I might do a whole stream next Friday just on Heart Eyes, because I know a lot of folks out there are very excited for this one. But let me know if that's something you want or not. My Chunky Jordy saying hi, everyone. Hello, Gina. How are you? Welcome in. Appreciate you. Chills Films is saying, have you seen The Ritual? Yes, love The Ritual. I heard that it is one of the inspirations for Bambi The Reckoning. The Ritual rocks. It's my favorite, what's his name? David Bruckner film. Totally forgot the director's name for half a second there. That's my favorite movie from his. Well, he's got a lot of good movies, though. I mean, he did Hellraiser from 2022, which I think is one of the best Hellraiser movies, which, you know, it's not super difficult, in all fairness, to make one of the better Hellraiser films. Most of them are... You know, Doug Bradley, he carries in some of those sequels, let me tell you. But that one, ton of fun, love it. The Night House, another really cool movie from him. But The Ritual, I think that's his best. I think that's his best work. Erica's reminding everybody, hit the like button, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Thank you, Erica. Appreciate you a bunch. Mason is saying, hey, Famalam, isn't our boy Jake looking really good and healthy lately? Thank you. I haven't really been feeling good and healthy, but but Mason, I appreciate it, dog. I'm getting some rest this weekend, thank God. I'm very, very excited for some of that, let me tell you. But I'm having a blast. I can't complain. This has been the craziest week ever, let me tell you. Silver Princess is here, our number one Roman fan around these parts, at least. There are rumors that Emma Roberts dyed her hair dark. Dun, dun, dun. Ooh, I like that. Oh, and Roman fans, let's go. Silver Princess, when I saw the news, honestly, you were the first person I thought of. I'm like, this person who comes into the stream all the time is going to lose their damn mind. Whew! Roman's back, baby. And for those who haven't hung around the streams too much, Silver Princess comes in every now and then to remind all of us that Roman is in fact the strongest Ghostface, and I can't really argue with that because he did do everything by himself, unless you believe the Angelina theories, which I do myself personally. But I still love Roman, crazy killer, secret brothers. They're the worst, aren't they? Silver Princess, thank you for the 5. I appreciate you a bunch. I know you must be losing your mind right now to see Scott Foley back in this one. It's exciting. Coop is saying, what's up? My FYP has been crazy with people just pissed at Matthew. So confused why he's coming back to the franchise that essentially got his start. I mean, you said it all right there, right? Of course he's going to... listen, if he got the opportunity, of course he's going to go back. You know? I mean, this is, like you said, this is the franchise where he really got one of his biggest first roles there. Of course he's going to want to relive this and do it again in some capacity. Now, you know, I'm definitely leaning a lot more towards a lot of the theories I've been hearing recently that actually kind of sound really interesting. I like the idea of bringing them all back to just lend their voices to this project, maybe with some sort of updated voice changer from Scream 3. I like that idea because it's very relevant to movies right now. You know, movies are facing potentially being the threat of AI, I guess, is really what it is. There's a lot of the majority of people in the industry, thank God, are looking at AI and saying that fucking sucks. A lot of the creatives being very vocal about that, which I appreciate because it does suck. But I will say, you know, it is a threat because a lot of companies have had meetings with a lot of like open AI and all these things. So I could totally see Scream potentially commenting on that by using the voice changer, by kind of like updating that a little bit, have it play more into the story a bit with some of the horror commentary, some of the movie commentary that Scream 7 could get into. And I'm into that. I'm into something like that, even though there has been a lot of horror movies lately that have done the AI thing, right? That's the one con to that I've been really thinking about, like Megan. You have that Afraid movie from Blumhouse, which I still haven't seen. I don't know if I'm missing anything there, but definitely a lot of AI horror lately that has been popping off. I mean, you could even make the argument that Companion is down that route. I haven't seen it yet, but just from what I know about it, I imagine maybe it's getting into some of that, the dangers of AI and all that, right? But I could totally see that being part of the commentary here. I'm down for it though. What else is going on? What's up, Jake? Sydney's daughter is in a polyamorous relationship with two people who turn out to be Stu's secret son and Roman's secret daughter, who started dating her to get revenge on Sydney. Dear God, what a theory. Ghostface, I haven't heard that one yet, but I guess you are Ghostface here, so you might know a little more than we do. So who knows? Anything could happen. Flash Gordon was not happy about the stream last night. Are you still proclaiming the death of the Scream franchise after this epic news? You know, a lot of people are kind of twisting my words a little bit because I never said this movie wasn't going to make money. I've been saying it for months now that if Stu comes back, this is going to be the most profitable Scream film, and I stand by that today. Not most profitable Scream film ever, but out of the last 3, you know, if we're talking 5, 6, and 7, oh yeah, this one makes the most money without a doubt if Stu comes back. That's what I've been saying for the longest time. So if I was talking about the Scream franchise being dead, all I mean by that is I just don't think I'm going to like this movie if they're just going to lean on the nostalgia crutch the entire time. My interest in this Scream franchise is maybe lessened if that's going to be the case, but I'm still open-minded to it. Maybe they still pump out a fun film. And like I said, there have been some theories going around recently that are cool, that I don't hate, but I don't think any of this is necessary at the end of the day, no matter what capacity it's being used in. We don't need dead killers to be a part of a new story in the Scream franchise. I mean, listen, what I love so much about the Evil Dead franchise, for instance, is we're not relying on the character of Ash Williams to make these new movies great. Like, sure, Bruce Campbell has his little cameos in these movies. I mean, you guys remember at the end of Evil Dead 2013, he just pops in for no reason to say groovy. And it's just like, what? What was that? Okay, it was cool, but that didn't play into the story. I love that the Evil Dead franchise has evolved with the modern times, decided to tell new stories. I love that. I think it's one of the most interesting horror franchises we have out there because it's gone to so many different places and gone to those places successfully, in my opinion, too. Scream seems to be really landlocked to the past. It seems to be constantly trying to tie things back to previous stories, and I feel like in a way that's shooting itself in the foot. So for me, I feel like they're going a little too far down that route personally, and I don't know if that's going to aid the story here in Scream 7. But I'm open-minded to it, you know? Am I worried? Absolutely. I don't think I've ever been more worried about a movie I really care about more in my life. But nonetheless, maybe they pump out a secret banger. You know, maybe Scream 7 is the underdog of the entire franchise and ends up being this big swing for the series. That would be great. But I don't have a whole lot of faith of it where I'm sitting now. So I don't know if you want to get mad at me for having an opinion that might differ from yours. Well, that's the whole point of this page, baby. We talk about horror. We all have different opinions. And there's no harm, there's no foul. It's just movies at the end of the day, my friend. My Chunky Jordy has been a member for 19 months. Holy shnikes, that's almost 2 years right there. Thank you so much, I appreciate that. Saying, don't forget to send the like button some love, people. Hell yeah. Hit the like button or dislike it. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. That's all good in the hood here. My Chunky Jordy, I really do appreciate your support for all this time. That's crazy. It really does mean a lot to old Jake here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Latrell would like to see Jill come back. Hey, I love me some Jill. Tell you what, definitely one of my favorite killer reveals in the entire franchise. So if Emma came back and did a little voice, or maybe did even, maybe if she did get resurrected, if that's the route we're going, I'm open-minded to it. Fuck it at this point, right? That would be fun. Love Jill. She's great. Drizzy Fest is saying Scream X, Ghostface in space. Maybe that's where we go next, you know? Maybe we jump the shark. And you know, in all seriousness, I would like to see some campier stuff happen in film. Maybe that's just me, but I kind of like how some movies have gotten campier and unapologetically at that. I don't know if I'm looking for that necessarily in the Scream franchise, but I do like that there have been a lot of releases lately that are just so outrageously ridiculous. Unapologetically ridiculous. Especially, you know, the Fast and Furious franchise is one I bring up a lot, and I promise I won't go down this rabbit hole again. I've talked about Fast and Furious almost as much as I've talked about Scream this week. But I respect those movies for being as ridiculous and over the top as they are. They don't make any sense, but that's the fun. That's the fun for me, at least, with those movies. So I don't know. I'm open-minded to ridiculous cinema. I go back. I look at a lot of the movies that were released in the 80s and the 90s. And I just think about how ridiculous some of those got. Like, where's our Jason X? You know, why is there no more like versus movies? No more absolutely ridiculous, probably bad movies that I'm kind of excited to see nonetheless. We kind of have that in the Pooniverse, which is honestly why I champion it so much, because again, not everything needs to be the most straightforward, serious movie that we've ever seen. Some franchises, that's just what I have come to expect or what I would want, just based on certain character traits of certain movie franchises. But when it comes to stuff like the Pooniverse, man, I'm going into that thing with no expectations. I'm going into that with just looking to have a fun time. And if I get any bonus points out there, anything else that those films try to do, rock on, cool. But I love that we have something like that in the space personally right now, which I know that might be a hot take. Some people are not crazy about the public domain horror, but every now and then, man, you need a dumb, just a dumb, mindless movie to really just vibe out to. And I'm glad we have something like that out there, which is great. Michael Parton, thank you for the $2, my friend. I really do appreciate you. Do you think it's better than My Bloody Valentine? If we're talking about Hard Eyes, probably not. In all honesty, I did like Hard Eyes. I don't think I loved it. I don't think I was like over the moon about the film, admittedly. The original My Bloody Valentine is probably still my personal favorite Valentine slasher. And you know, even with saying that, I don't think that there's a Valentine slasher yet that is still just tremendous. I do like this movie. It has probably some of the best kills in any Valentine's Day slasher ever, but I'll tell you what, two things that I loved about Hard Eyes: great kills across the board. Not a bad kill in there, in my opinion. Maybe that's a hot take, but you will not be disappointed with that. And the opening scene, the killer design, that's three things, actually. All very good. Again, no spoilers. The film has not come out yet, so I won't say too much more. But definitely give this one a watch. I think it was good enough for a theater trip. I don't think it was like best horror movie of the year, though. I wouldn't say that. I definitely liked it more than something like Wolfman, but I think there are other horror movies that have come out this year that are definitely higher up on my list. But I had a very fun time with this one. I could totally see putting it on again around this time of year, you know, for Valentine's Day. I honestly, what my rotation would be personally is maybe like My Bloody Valentine, Valentine from 2001, which is you want to talk about a just ridiculous over the top movie with a tiny bit of sophistication that works. There you go, baby. That one rocks. I really enjoyed that silly movie. But and this one too, honestly, those three: Hard Eyes, it's not Cupid, it's Valentine, My Bloody Valentine. Those are the three that I would watch. Some people like the 2009 My Bloody Valentine though too, but I prefer the original. Again, hot take. But Michael, thank you for the $2, my friend. Really appreciate you supporting the channel. Means a lot to me. My TV might be making noise in a second here. Nope. Okay. Just turned off. Never mind. Jake, you're one of the best YouTubers out here. Mr. Rick, you're one of the coolest misters out there. Let me tell you. Thank you for hanging out with us, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks for being a member as well. Means a lot. Fellow Scream 3 fans, can we get a woot woo? Woot woo. Let's go. The Stu fans have won. The Scream 3 fans have won. It's you know, as much as I want to bitch and complain, it's time to celebrate, baby. It's time to crack open the champagne. It's time to have fun. Jill is rumored to be back. They're going to be bringing back everyone for fuck's sake. I know, right? It's crazy. Everyone's coming back. Dewey's coming back. Jamie Kennedy's coming back. It's going to be great. I think at this point, that McKenna Grace is Stu's daughter. Now that's wild. You have Stu, and who's the new killer? You know, attack on somebody else that's new. It's McKenna Grace as Stu's secret daughter. That could be crazy. That could be crazy. AI sucks, bro. It does. It sucks balls. I hate it. So I think that's why it would be a really cool thing to, you know, comment on and kind of vilify here in Scream 7. Just to make that clear, if I did not. Yeah, I am not pro AI. Not even remotely. Fuck that shit. AI is creepy. It's a little worse than creepy, my friend. Surge is saying, did you talk about how people are saying they're going to use AI for the past killers? I don't think they're actually going to, yeah, just to clarify there, I don't think the theory is that people want to like emulate voices or something with AI. It's, yeah, the killers want to use use it in the movie, like fake use it, right? And emulate the voices of past people. I'm sure that's what you meant, Surge. Wait, I'm sure that's what you meant, but yeah, I think that's the theory right now, and I'm kind of into it. Again, it's using AI to, you know, psychologically fuck with Sydney's head. That's cool. That's okay. That's topical. That's what Scream does best, in my opinion. Rock on. If that's the route that they want to go, I'm into it. But, you know, again, I won't go through the whole spiel again. But yeah, it is just kind of the way that they're announcing it. At least it is totally a little bit of nostalgia baiting, which I don't know if I love. I don't know. Just kind of it feels like the easy route. It feels like the easy route out instead of just coming up with something truly fresh entirely, which I think this franchise can still do, and maybe it will, but we'll just have to see. Black Nerd Kid 88 is saying, I think it's going to the cult route. That would be amazing if they do. I'm down for the cult, man. You know, Kevin Williamson, that was kind of his original idea with Scream 3, as I'm sure you guys have heard at this point. And I'm into it. I'm down for him to kind of reimagine that for the modern day. Because, you know, the other thing that I don't hear get talked about as much is that Scream 3, that idea that Kevin Williamson had for it, got translated into his show The Following, like what is that, like 8, 9, 10 years later? I can't remember how long later that came out. But it's a really good show starring Kevin Bacon. And that kind of, they used his idea for that and kind of made it original, not a Scream thing, which is cool. But will he come back to that essentially and reinvent it for the modern day? Who knows? That's definitely up in the air right now. Scream Talk is getting exciting again too. That's another thing that I again, looking at every silver lining right now. That's there's so much to talk about when it comes to Scream, or I see Perp Minded talking about Scary Movie 6. There's so much to talk about. What is Scary Movie 6 going to pick apart from Scream 7 to make fun of? What is Scream 7 going to even do in the first place? There's so many things to talk about. Mike 42 is saying an opening scene kill showing a de-aged Billy, Stu, and Roman carrying out or planning the Marine attack could be cool. Be an opening kill showing us the opening kill that started it all. I'm into something like that, especially if this is supposed to be like the final story with Sydney, right? It's almost like it's like an alpha and omega thing. Show how this all started, show how this is all going to end, essentially. And I imagine that's probably along the lines of what they're maybe planning on doing. I wouldn't necessarily be against this as long as the de-aging looks good. You know, we have all seen something at this point that has some rough looking de-aging where someone just doesn't look necessarily 100% there. So if they were to do this, if they are to go down this route, I just hope they do a little better than what they did to Billy in Scream 5. I just don't know if that looked all that great personally. So I would hate to see all these people come back and they just look like old people with makeup on. That's I shouldn't say that because Skeet, Matthew, and Scott Foley, fuck, all three of these guys have aged like fine wine. Let me tell you, they are handsome men. They are handsome men. So I don't know if it would be too difficult to make them look like teenagers again. But all I'm saying is just do a little more than, you know, the way too dark hair dye for Billy and in Scream 5. I think they did it better in Scream 6 too, if we're talking about the hallucination route as well. They did it slightly better in Scream 6, but that's because they barely showed him. They got a reflection of the guy in the window or whatever, right? So yeah, I don't know. What will they do here? Will we have an opening scene actually showcasing what happened with Maureen Prescott? Finally showing us that. I don't know. If we're gonna go that route again, I need some sort of new revelation. I don't want to just see the scene where we already know everything that plays out. Give me something else. Give me a conversation between Roman, Billy, and Stu that kind of just makes me rethink everything that we've come to know. I think that's still possible. It's really tough to say what that conversation could be, what this new element is to this opening kill that we never knew about. But it's definitely a lot to think about for sure. Scream 7 and Scary Movie 6 in the same year. It's crazy. It's like the 90s all over again. And we even have some really exciting updates. Speaking of 90s horror, The Faculty is finally getting a reboot, which is a little bit of a newer news update. I'll be talking about that on Monday when I do my news recap video from the week, stuff I missed from the previous week. I'm gonna just make that a Monday staple moving forward. We're just always gonna talk about news that I missed from the previous week. And that's one thing I really want to get into. I'm very open to a Faculty remake. I could get into something like that. It all depends on who's doing it, of course, but I think that is a really interesting new update. We got I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream 7, Scary Movie 6, now this. It's crazy. 90s horror is popping again, ladies and gentlemen. It's exciting. I so wished Sydney got to walk up to the shrine in 6. Wish she could have been there for that. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that obviously terrorized her in the past. so that would have been really cool. That was a fun scene. Jet is literally a jet. Oh my God. Like a fighter jet is in the chat right now, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, fighter jet. How are you? Do you have emotions? Well, you do have movie opinions apparently, because you're saying Jason X is the best. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first, folks. Jets like Jason X. A new study found that most planes are a big fan of the Friday the 13th series, especially the weirder ones. My Chunky Jordy can't wait for Fast 11. Bring it on! I'm gonna start covering it. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing it. I'm just gonna do it. Let's see what happens. Gory Tiger saying, "What's up? What's up, Gory Tiger? Welcome in. Appreciate you. What's up? What's up? Who else is with us tonight? Oh, you're good, dog. Flash, hey, you're all good, brother. I felt I had to defend myself a little bit there. No hate, dude. I just found your reaction to the news a little jarring when everyone else was getting super excited. Much love. I'm you know how I feel about it. I just don't think I just don't think it's a good thing for the franchise. But hey, let's see it. Let's see it. Maybe it fucking rocks. But where I'm sitting right now, it just the way they're doing it too, the way they're announcing it, they're unloading it in stages so that we all get more excited, we all post more videos, we all send out more tweets. It's to me, it just comes off as ways to get the fans talking about this new movie so that they don't lose their flagship franchise. And that to me is like, well, just make good decisions behind the scenes and make good movies. It's really not that hard. So I guess that's a criticism more so less towards the movie itself, more so towards the company that's making these movies. It just I don't know. I guess it's weird. I wish they would have not made certain decisions that they did to put them in this spot, because if Melissa Barrera didn't get fired, would we really be talking about all this right now? I don't know. That's really the big question. But that's who knows? That's a whole another path, a whole nother dimension is dealing with that right now, not us. Tanya in the D is saying, "Hey Jake, agreed. The original My Bloody Valentine is the best. It's a banger. If you've never seen it, great 80s slasher. It does, it's a little bit of a franchise now, right? So it does get talked about here and there. But definitely put it on during this time of year. Great Valentine's Day watch for sure. Really fun one." Latrell is saying, "I for real need Randy to be back though." I need him to come back. Well, if the only way I could see Randy coming back is if they retcon some of the sequels, which I've been pretty vocal about this in the past before. If that's the route that they want to go to bring back people, I'm not against that. To me, that makes sense if you want to retcon sequels and then bring back people. Then you can tell a whole new story without having too many ties to the past, right? You're continuing from just the original Scream, let's say, in this theoretical situation. But in this case, you don't have to make literally everything work that has happened in all 6, moving into now 7 movies to tell your next story. And while I respect Scream for doing that. I think that's dope. I'm not gonna be against a reboot if or when it happens, because I just think it's gonna be easier to tell new stories in this series that way. I don't know. I'm open minded to it. Again, it could suck. I'm not saying that's a surefire way to have a hit. I just think it's gonna be an easier way to write a new mystery, kind of clearing the board a little bit, having a fresh start there. I'm open-minded to it. And again, that's not me saying that I hate the sequels. That's not me saying that, the sequels need to be erased. I think when I say that, some people, hear it that way. That's not at all what I'm saying. I love the sequels, man. I don't think there's a bad Scream film yet. Keyword yet. But I don't think there's a bad one in the bunch so far, and I think that's probably the reason why I'm so critical of this series too. It's considering its situation. This is a tougher franchise to have 6 really good movies in, and goddamn, I mean, there is something excellent about all 6 of these films so far. In every single one, I'm not saying they're all perfect because they're not, but man, every single Scream film has genuinely something I love about it. There's something in every movie where I'm like, that fucking rocked. This series is still so good. So I don't know. For me personally, I really do love this series, and I hope that 7 can continue that idea of just keeping things so fresh and so vibrant throughout all 6 movies. Always finding things to talk about and get into. So I love it. Really do love this series. Orion is saying, hey, Jake, have you seen Companion yet? I'm driving to see it right now. Dude, I haven't seen it yet, and I'm like kind of bummed because it has so many good reviews. I got to see Hard Eyes early, so I kind of chose that over Companion, admittedly, because I really wanted to see that one. Really hyped up about that one. But I'm going to see Companion this weekend, and hopefully I'll have a review out Sunday. That's kind of the plan as of right now. I'm hoping to have a big Scream video out tomorrow morning. And then we're talking about Companion, baby. So hopefully I'm going to get to that one sooner than later because, man, nothing but good things. Heard nothing but good things about this one. I can't believe it. I can't believe the love. Paul is saying regarding Scream 7 in the news, I wonder if it'll be a flashback with de-aged Billy Stu and Roman plotting the kill of Maureen. You are not alone there, Paul. Let me tell you. We've gotten into that a few times tonight. But I'm into it if they can give us something new. I should probably start offering something new to this conversation, huh? Maybe they can, again, maybe another new thing that they can show us is maybe it happened a little differently than how we all know. Maybe that's another angle that we can explore here. Because let's go back to that conversation that Gail and Sydney had in the original Scream about, well, this happened and your mom saw this specific thing, but maybe it was somebody else, Well, can we play with that? Can we play with that and still have things work out where it was Billy and Stu and, of course, Roman plotting all of this? But, maybe there's an extra element to it. I also think that, when Kevin was writing Scream 1, there was no Roman in the picture. Roman is obviously, not his creation. So this was something that came later on in a sequel. Can we find a way to have Roman in this sequence there during the events? Is that a new thing that we can find in Scream 7 to reinvent that scene of how we think we know it went down, but maybe it went down a little differently? Again, if you can play with that a little bit and tell us something we have not known all this time, I'm very into that. I'm very into the idea of just reinventing this whole franchise. Scream 3 kind of tries to do that, right? And I don't know if I love it or not, the idea that there was a mastermind pulling the strings. I don't know if it's handled necessarily the best way it could have been done, to do something along those lines. But can we make this even crazier, and can it work? Those are the questions, I guess, are floating around my brain right now. But we'll just have to see, Paul. We'll just have to see Paul and John and Ringo and George. We'll see. Variety of Green is saying, Jill was my fave, but bring back Jennifer Jolie. The only character I will actually be so okay with bringing back from the dead is Jennifer Jolie. I don't care. That's the one character where I'm like, you know what? Deserved. Scream can have that one. I can't even critique it. I can't even critique it, man. That's too great. That's too excellent. So I'm with you there for sure. Few more people hanging out in the chat here. Thank you for being a member, Ty. Appreciate you. Yeah, dude, Marvel should take some notes from the Fast and Furious franchise. I think they already have. Unless they do and just fail miserably. Fast and Furious is doing a better job of handling their multiverse. I think, Fast and Furious, in my opinion, it's gone so off the rails that it's so goofy that it's just, you have to have fun with it. You just have to have a good time watching this crazy, dumb movie. Fast X, I've said it thousands of times. It's so fucking funny to me. I love it so much. Johnny Naris, what's up, Johnny? Jake, you got that t-shirt you got is dope. Thank you. It glows in the dark, dude. Isn't that cool? Yeah, no, I'll stand up so you can get a little better look. It's like it's a tarot card, right? but with Ghostface. I like it. This is one of my favorite Scream shirts, so I'm like, I gotta wear it. Gotta wear it tonight. Gotta make it happen. So there you go. Got a little taste of the T-shirt there. That sounds like a hair metal band from the 80s. Taste of the T-shirt. Tasted the T-shirt. You know, I can see the song and everything. Jesus Christ. Do you think if Spyglass goes to Melissa and apologizes to her on their hands and knees, gives her whatever she wants in pay, do you think she'll come back? You know, in this situation, I think it is a little more about the principle. But, you know, then again, you know, Nev Campbell came back after calling the studio misogynistic. So anything's possible, man. And at the end of the day, it is just a job, you know? So that's how I look at it, and I don't know. I would love to have her back, and I know she's talked on interviews about it too, about how, you know, she's happy with how Scream 6 ended. I've heard Melissa say that almost verbatim, that she's like, the ending that Scream 6 has like is a perfect ending to the story. But I do really I would love one more. I really would. I think Melissa deserves a trilogy. There's still more story to tell there, even though you could leave it at that. But to me, I would love one more with Melissa Barrera's character. That would be a lot of fun. I don't, you know, again, I'm trying to stay consistent here in an effort to stay consistent, I should say. Just like how I feel about Sydney, I feel the same way about Melissa. I think there will come a time where there's just gonna not be any more story to tell with a certain character. I could totally see at least one more with Melissa for sure. Maybe another after that, but in my opinion, I also wouldn't want to see her just be like the new lead, like she just takes. So it's just the story of Sam Carpenter moving forward. I don't think I would want to see that either. The other thing I love about Scream is that we're always giving chances to new and upcoming actors, and I think at some point, yeah, the torch should be passed to somebody else. As much as I love all of the old characters, they're great. I think the best franchises understand that sometimes you just have to build on new characters to keep things fresh. You know, The Simpsons are constantly getting new writers, like all the time, and that's why, arguably, some people would disagree. It's still good to this day. I don't think it's the best it's ever been, you know, but the early Simpsons is the best, but I still like a lot of new Simpsons. It's still a ton of fun. So to me, I think you got to keep finding ways to reinvent yourselves, and using The Simpsons as an example maybe isn't the best idea. Maybe isn't the best way to do that there, but that just popped into my brain. I don't know. Keep things fresh, keep things moving, do new things with franchises, because that's why we keep coming back to these movies anyways. Jake, it's Kay. Thanks for the $5, Kay. My new YouTube channel. What are you looking forward to the most with Terrifier 4? Spooky and Such. I like the name, my friend. I really like this name a lot. Hang on. Before I even answer your question, there's something very important we got to do here. Go to channel, Spooky and Such, subscribe. I'm your 34th subscriber. Let's go. Nice. I love it. And I see you got a little Scream update coming soon. Nice, very nice, very good stuff. That drops at 8:00 tonight. Make sure to check it out, everybody. Kay is a dear friend. She's awesome. Kay absolutely rocks. But let's see. The thing I'm looking forward to the most in Terrifier 4. Let's get into this a little bit. I'm looking forward to it's the conclusion of the saga. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing about it. I'm really excited to get answers of who Art the Clown is. You know, I don't know if I think the thing with that though is Damien's promised that out the gate. You know, the announcement, here's the script. You're gonna know who Art the Clown is by the time this movie's over. To me, that just like that's. I mean this in a good way. I mean this in a positive way. This is an expression that is usually used negatively, but that's the last nail in the coffin for the Terrifier franchise. And I mean this in a very positive way, because I like the idea that Terrifier is going to end, that Damien is going to be done with it at some point, and maybe someone reboots it in 10 years down the line. Sure, whatever. I'll check it out. Why not? But I really respect Damien for not just milking this thing to death. You know what I mean? It's going to be like a tetralogy, not a quadrilogy, ladies and gentlemen. Quadrilogy is not a word. Fun fact. You learned something from the stream tonight. See? This isn't brain rot. You're learning stuff tonight. I promise. But I like that he's committing to the tetralogy, where we're going to do 4 movies and then we're moving on to something else. I have a lot of respect for Damien for that, and whatever his career jumps to next, I'm fucking there day one. I don't even care if it's not horror. I'm checking it out. He has impressed me immensely with the Terrifier series. It's one of the coolest success stories in all of horror, in my opinion, and I can't wait to see what the guy does next. So what am I looking forward to the most with Terrifier 4? A triumphant and epic conclusion to the story. I'm really looking forward to that, and of course some nasty and disgusting kills, because of course that's in there. Of course that's going to be part of this insanity, which I'm sure Damien, thinking about this one being the last one, I could totally see him just putting it all on the page. The most ridiculous, upsetting shit he can possibly think of to put all into this one movie. I'm sure it's going to be there. So I'm really excited for Terrifier 4. Maybe the sequel I'm the most excited for right now, even though there is a lot of good stuff on the horizon, Kay, let me tell you. But dog, thank you so much for coming in. I'm so excited that you have a new YouTube channel. Good luck. I hope it rocks. I hope you have nothing but success. Let's get Kay to 100 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. She's already a third of the way there. Just a few more. Go subscribe. Kay is awesome. Thank you for the 5. Really do appreciate you a bunch. Thank you for the support. And Awesome Destroyer is also throwing 5 out there, dude. Thank you. Saying, I don't want Heart Eyes spoilers. I promise you I will not. Not going to get into spoilers. That would suck, you know? I would unsubscribe from a guy who just gave me spoilers about a movie that hasn't even come out yet. That would suck balls. But is Devon Sawa's character used a good amount or not enough? I feel like that's, again, I feel like that's kind of spoiling things. Devon Sawa has 2 scenes in this that are like absolutely ridiculous that I love. That's what I'll say. There's specifically 2 moments I can think of off the top of my head where I'm like, that's fucking awesome. I'm so glad Devon Sawa is in this movie. So no, he's in there. It's fun. He's great. Devon Sawa always delivers, even when it's a bad movie. And I'm not saying Hard Eyes is bad, but Devon Sawa, he has some really good moments in there. I said in my review today, though, my 2 favorite characters were Jordana Brewster's Shaw, I believe her name was, and then Mason Gooding as Jay. So those 2 definitely my favorite parts of this film. They have some of the most ridiculous moments. And the other thing I'll say about Hard Eyes, again, not a spoiler, look out for a cameo from director Josh Rubin. It is one of the funniest director's cameos I've ever seen in a film. I really enjoyed it. So definitely look out for that. It hits you, but it's a total surprise. Like you guys will be looking for it, and then it just hits you in the face, and it's ridiculous. But it made me laugh. It was ridiculous, but but super funny stuff. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It's laugh out loud hilarious. It's got some bloody kills to it. It's got some really good moments. Don't know if I was crazy about the twist, but besides that, some great stuff all around. Awesome Destroyer. Check this bad boy out in like a week. In literally like a week, dog. Thanks for the 5. Appreciate you. And Spooky and such, Kay here is saying, as much as I would love 5 Terrifier movies, having Damien know when it ends, it is amazing. I agree. Not overdoing this thing, not milking it, not going for way too long, because that would suck. Eventually all things get old. I love the Terrifier series, and I could genuinely watch a 4-hour Terrifier film if Damien had the heart to do something crazy like that. But, at the end of the day, everything gets old, unfortunately. It's just the sad truth of life. And at some point, we are going to have to move on from our lovely little Art the Clown. He's wonderful, and goddamn, I love him so much. The next great slasher villain, goddamn it, I'm saying it right here, right now. It's him. It's Arthur. He did it. But I'm also excited for the next thing. I think for horror to endure, it can't just be doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I know I say that a lot, but it's true. That's why I say it a lot. You have to keep finding ways to challenge the status quo, right? And that's what Terrifier did so well with Terrifier 2. There hadn't really been a super popular, super bloody, over-the-top slasher like that in a long time with such a magnetic villain. And Terrifier 2 comes in and says, we're doing it. We're throwing things back to the 80s where we're doing things like how we used to. And it's fun. It's great. I love it. I love it a lot. So I love the Terrifier franchise, but I'm glad that they know when enough is enough. That to me is such a mature thing for Damien to establish and not just go on and on and on forever. Hold up. Quadrilogy isn't a word. Look it up, dog. Look it up. I went through a whole thing. Okay. The Alien box set. I'm gonna, I don't give a shit. I'm pulling it out. It's not topical at all, but I'm pulling this thing out because it's really funny and I like to point it out sometimes. Let's get this thing. All right. Where is it? Bam. All right. Y'all got to see my sweatpants and my my ass crack. I'm watching the replay right now while you all just got to see my damn. Okay, anyways. Alien Quadrilogy. I looked it up because I'm like, is that a word? Like, it sounds like it's not a word. You know what I mean? It sounds like it's fake. It's not a word. Tetralogy is in fact the word that would refer to 4 things all in a row, or like a franchise of 4 movies. So yeah, the Terrifier tetralogy is what it will be called when all things are said and done, which I think is really funny. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just crazy, because I am a little crazy, let's be honest. Do you think we could get Scream 8 in 2027? Here's what I'll say. If there's no production issues, which I don't think we can bank on anymore. If there's no more production issues for 7 or 8, oh no. Oh no, have I lost connection? Dear Lord, am I still live to the internet? That was weird. Dude, all my screens just went dark for like half a second. So sorry. I'm still live. I'm still live on the internet. Okay. Hello, internet. You're still there. Okay, good. Anyways, sorry about that little hiccup, fellas. Do we think we could get Scream 8 in 2027? If 7 is successful, and they want to start a new trilogy, they have more story to tell after this one, this isn't a film that's trying to be like a finale, then yes, I could totally see it. And, you know, here's a talking point that's kind of been completely demolished with a lot of newer updates. The idea in the past was that a lot of these new horror movies were just going to do trilogies, get in, get out. That was totally the idea with Halloween. You know, the most recent Halloween trilogy, they were going to do 3 movies, they were going to get out. I think that's very clear at this point. But now that's kind of changed. That's kind of changed entirely. You know, studios have realized that sequels make good money. You know, people will show up for more franchise continuations no matter what they're about. That's why we had a little news update a little while ago after the success of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, for instance, which is the 4th movie in kind of like the reboot series. The 4th film specifically, they were talking about doing 9 new movies in total. So that would be 4 out of 9. And listen, I'll be real with you. There's a lot of these franchise continuations I like, and I think there are a lot of fun in the modern day. Nothing, and I mean nothing, comes close to the 4 new Planet of the Apes movies. I will die on that hill. They are so good. I'm a big sci-fi fan. I love sci-fi movies to death. But like the best reboot anything that I have seen in the modern day, it's those 4 movies. They're so good. They're so good. And I didn't get to talk about it in 2024, which is a shame. But that Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, easily a top 5 movie just in general from last year for me personally. So good. I was in love with that film. It was awesome. But the idea that they're doing 5 more movies, usually I would wince at that. Usually I would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But with how good those films have been, I'm here for it. I am a huge Planet of the Apes fan. For those who don't know, love those movies too. One of my favorite franchises of all time. I will see 5 more movies. I'm down. I'm so open to it because of how good all these movies have been from different people too. It's not the same guy doing all those movies. Like, it is different people almost every single time. And goddamn, all 4 of them are good. Oh my God, I can't believe it. So if Scream continues to be good, which obviously that is a big talking point right now. I don't know what the quality of Scream 7 is going to be. It's anyone's guess at this point. Then I could totally see Scream 8 coming out a year later, very similar to, you know, what happened with Scream 6. But it all depends. It all depends on how this movie does. You know, has all the bad press killed the momentum for Scream at this point? I don't know. You know, that's really yet to be seen. Personally, I don't think it has. You know, I don't know how I feel about that personally, but I don't think all the bad press has really killed the momentum for Scream. I think that there are still a lot of people who are going to show up for Scream 7. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's just what it is. There's some things that have really sucked from Spyglass that I'm not a big fan of personally. But I do like the idea that that we are kind of telling a different story here. I like the idea that we're reinventing Sidney Prescott as a character. I'm open-minded to that. I really think that could be fun if they do it right. But all things in execution. All things in execution, baby. Will Tree 8 is saying, what are some twisted childhood universe movies you are looking forward to? Alice and the Mad Hatter is probably the one yeah, is that the one I'm the most excited for? Pinocchio. I know a little bit about Pinocchio. Fuck, it sounds good. Pinocchio is going to be really good. I'm really jazzed up for that one, probably the most. Alice and the Mad Hatter is probably second. And Pooniverse, of course. Pooniverse is going to be great too. I don't know. You might see some familiar faces in that one. Who knows? But I'm excited for Pooniverse. Can't wait for that. Alyssa Bruce is saying, I still need to see Terrifier 3. I love those movies. Oh, Alyssa, check it out. Check it out as soon as possible. So on Valentine's Day, it's streaming on Screambox. You can, rent it right now. But oh my God, watch Terrifier 3 as soon as possible. One of my favorite horror movies from last year, without a doubt. So much fun. If you liked Terrifier 2, this one, it looks better on a technical level. I think everything is improved. It is a gorgeous looking film. I loved the sound design. The sound. I could go on and on about the sound design in that movie, but there's so much to love about Terrifier 3. I will say, Terrifier 3, it's like a 9.5 out of 10. I still think Terrifier 2 is like a 10 out of 10. I still think that the first sequel is my favorite of the franchise, but goddamn, Terrifier 3 is so good. So good, man. It's hard to even say that with how good both of these movies are. I mean, to me, at least, it's the Alien and Aliens debate. Which one is better? And it's almost impossible. It's nearly impossible to say which one I like more, but Terrifier 3, it's still so good. You definitely got to watch it if you haven't, especially if you're a fan of the sequel. The best Scream retcon is when Kirby came back. Johnny, is that a retcon? That's a big question with that one. Everyone always says, well, why can't we bring back dead characters if we brought back Kirby? And to me, Wes Craven tweeted out, he even tweeted out, he's like, well, we cut away while she was still moving, or whatever the quote is. It's a famous tweet from the fella before he unfortunately passed away. Rest in peace. But to me, Wes Craven always wanted this character to come back, at least based on that one tweet. And I kind of like that Radio Silence did that. It's a great nod towards the master of horror. So to me, that's what that is. That's why that totally works. That's one of those things where I'm like, I can't even be mad about that. They did it. They did that for Wes, and I think that's really cool. So, me personally, am I really critical about the idea of Stu coming back and all that? Sure. But Kirby, I don't think it's that much of a stretch either way. She got stabbed a few times. Okay. But so did Chad. So did Chad. So did Dewey. And they're fine. Well, I spoke too soon on that last one, didn't I? But Chad's okay. That's what we do now for now. For now, he's coming back, but we'll see. Boomer is saying, I personally think that the killers will do AI voices of Stu and Roman, but send videos of Marine's death in little bits to taunt Sydney. That's fucked up. Man, I think, all these theories are definitely on the right track of what I think they're actually going to do. I like to joke around about Stu having his laser powers because of the TV hitting him in the face. But I think realistically, this is probably what they're going to do, right? Some sort of voice manipulation. You're going to hear Stu's voice. You're going to get those goofy moments from him. And that kind of fixes one of my big problems with Stu coming back, because another big argument that I'm shocked I haven't brought up in the last 2 days is a big thing that I'm not crazy about with Stu coming back is the fact that he wouldn't be the goofy character that so many people want him to be. That's probably my biggest thing. Logistics aside, that's my biggest thing, is that if Stu has been held up in a basement somewhere, in prison this entire time, I don't see him coming out and being like, ooh, the goofy Stu that we know him to be. It's going to be Matthew Lillard in this really stilted role where he has to be a little more cold and sullen and the mastermind behind this whole thing. I don't want to see that. What? If this is the case, if they're doing the voices, right? If it's like, okay, we're going to have Ghostface call Sydney with the voice of Stu, with the voice of Roman, with this, that, whatever. That to me gives an opportunity to Matthew Lillard to be as goofy as he fucking wants to be. And that to me is that's the best way to bring Stu back, is something along those lines, something where it makes sense for him to still be in character and not have 30 years of basically just horrible, long, torturous, some kind of terrible fate like that, where he's just been trapped and locked away for so long. If Stu's going to come back, have him be fun and make it. It's got to still makes a little sense, right? You can't just have it make absolutely no sense. Then how could it possibly be fun? Stu, I think this is the best way to do it. If you want to have Stu and you want silly Stu back, that's the way to do it. He ain't going to be goofy and running around like he was in the original if he's been locked away all this time. I just don't think that works. What is your favorite non-Western horror movie? That's a great question. Oh, so many good answers to this one. The Grudge, the original The Grudge is excellent. Oh my God. That is, if you guys like the Sarah Michelle Gellar one, you got to see the original. I to this day, I think it is the best use of sound design in a horror movie ever. And I will stand by that take, die on that hill. God damn, it's so good. That's a really good one. I'm trying to think what else. Audition is great. Takashi Miike. Trying to think what else is also really up there. Train to Busan, a more recent example. Really, really good movie. I love a lot of like J horror, K horror, all that's it's a lot of good stuff there. Really trying to think what else. I'm just trying to think outside the box. Point being, there's a lot of good foreign films out there that unfortunately don't get enough love. Was it Speak No Evil? Yeah, Speak No Evil was great, but wait, what's the other one? When Evil Lurks. Ooh, When Evil Lurks was good. Oh, guys, if you haven't seen that one, if you're Terrifier fans, by the way, and you haven't seen When Evil Lurks, it's kind of like it's got the over the top kill. Well, I don't think that's good. A better example, I would say, is it's kind of like a foreign Evil Dead movie. I think is kind of what it is. It's almost like the evil. There's a lot of movies that have explored the Evil Dead apocalypse idea, and I think When Evil Lurks might be just the best one. A lot of really cool ideas in that movie, I think. Really messed up stuff. That's a rabbit hole of a question, though. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I just watched a movie today, Grafted, which I believe is not a Western movie. That was fucking excellent. Oh my God, so good. But man, there's stuff every year. Some weird movie that you like doesn't get any sort of coverage or trailer or whatever, where I watch it and I'm like, this is so good. This is so fresh and different. What? Like, why is no one talking about this? How has no one discovered this one yet? So I don't know. There's a lot of really good stuff out there. Take chances on movies, man. If there's any advice I could give about horror in general, take some chances on some weird stuff. So what else is going on? What else are we talking about out there? Imagine a gory creature feature about a killer peacock, and the title can be Plume, an air on peacock. Oh my God, that would be the most ridiculous peacock original, man. I've seen some whack ones too. I mean, they've had some weird stuff go up on that service. That, you know what? I'm into something like that though. That's an event right there. That's a Sharknado level event if they do something like that. That's crazy. Perry is saying Companion is great. Damn, Companion is getting so much love, and I still haven't seen this one. I'm going to correct that this weekend, I promise. I'm getting to it. But man, it's crazy how much love that one's getting. I didn't think it was, after that last trailer, kind of learning more about what it was about, I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to like this as much. It really looks like Ex Machina to me. That was my big thing. I'm like, it kind of just looks like a campier version of Ex Machina, and I don't know if I'm gonna love that or not. But so many people are loving this movie, man, and that has me so excited. I'm trying not to go in with too high of expectations, but man, everyone is. I'm seeing so many people come into the chat. I mean, this is like the fourth or fifth person. Companion was the shit. Casper's eye socket says. I can't wait. Another good Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher horror movie, man. I'm into it. Jordan Caleb is saying, yo, what's up, Jake? How's it going, Jordan? I miss Jennifer from Scream 3. Parker Posey was amazing. She was hilarious. Definitely one of the better side characters in all these movies. She makes a lot of that film for me. It's so funny. She is also really good in in a movie that some Scream fans may not have any interest in, a film called Beau is Afraid. Parker Posey is in this film, and it is so fucking weird and so hard to watch. But I loved it. It is a awful masterpiece in all the wrong ways. And goddamn, the scene, especially with Parker Posey, there's the scene. Like she's in a lot of the movie, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. There's the scene with Parker Posey. It is ridiculous. Oh my God. Man. But I'll tell you what, probably my two favorite things I've seen her in now is that Scream 3 and Beau is Afraid, which is so fucking crazy to say. But oh my God. Whew. Crazy scene. Am I excited for the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie Mania Central? I'm definitely a little concerned about it. It kind of just looks like, again, another movie that's kind of going through the ropes, going through the motions of your typical requel setup. But I don't want to judge it too much quite yet. I definitely don't know about as much about this one as I do Scream 7. I haven't. I don't feel like there's been as much coverage with this movie as Scream has. I mean, if someone drops a Pepsi on set, if the littlest tiny thing happens on Scream 7, someone is going to be reporting about it, which I think is very funny. So with everything we know about Scream 7, I think it is definitely a little easier to judge that one now. But I Know What You Did Last Summer. The only things I really have to judge it on is just the idea that it's clearly trying to be like the new Scream. It's trying to be like the new big requel series for an old franchise. And I don't know if that's going to work with I Know What You Did Last Summer. The only reason why is I just think Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer are two very different franchises, even though in tone they are very similar, right? The biggest difference is that this is a series that I feel is just so landlocked to the characters that are already in that original film. How can you possibly do a new one with new people? I feel very differently about Scream. Scream with Ghostface, he is so malleable. Ghostface is a character that can literally be anybody, and at its core, at its basic concept, you can kind of apply Scream to really any situation. There's so many different kinds of characters we could see in these movies, so many different things it can comment on. I just can't say the same thing about I Know What You Did Last Summer. So to make a new one of those movies, it's tough to say. I will say I am a little more excited for it now that we know that some of the original cast members are going to be there for this one. Definitely has me a little more excited, but I think it is a tougher franchise to continue than just the typical slasher series for sure. So it's going to definitely be a hard one to get right. But again, I'm open-minded. Let's see if it works or not. I don't know. This one is I'm on the fence about as of right now. But I'm excited to see those characters come back. I'm excited to see Sydney come back too. I'm excited to see characters come back, I guess, right? But I don't know. At the same time, who knows? But we'll see. By the way, Kay is up to 39 subscribers. You guys are so kind. Thank you guys for subscribing to her page. That really does mean a lot to me. Kay has been a good friend ever since I started covering Scream, and I just really appreciate that. She rocks. So thank you guys for that. What else is going on? The Substance far exceeded expectations. Oh my god. Yeah, Dylan. Ooh, favorite horror movie of last year without a doubt. So good. So glad it got nominated for 5 Oscars, dude. That's crazy. So deserved. Coralie Farja, Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, all those people just deserve the love. That is such an excellent movie. Perp Minded, I'm watching this movie as soon as this stream ends. As soon as this ends. Dark Match. I was gonna watch it at some point today. I just shit got crazy. I needed a little nap, but I'm definitely checking this one out as soon as this stream is over. I'm really excited for this movie. I've had some of the Terrifier people actually reach out to me and say, "Dude, look out for this one's gonna be good." Like they some of the Terrifier folks got to see this one early, I guess, and they told me to see this one early because I guess it's really good. So I'm so excited. There's been some really good Shudder originals in the last couple of years, man. So I've been really blown away by some of the stuff that they put on there. I can't wait to check this one out. It's gonna be fun. You went in totally blind to Companion. Nice, Perry. Listen, that's the way to do it with some of these movies nowadays. Sometimes they're just really overdoing the marketing, and it's kind of crazy. I'm excited to see it this weekend, though. It's going to be fun. Chase is saying, I'm waiting for Jill Roberts' announcement. It's probably coming. Who knows? I'm sure it's coming, right? It's kind of why I'm waiting to make a video. I'm like, they're just going to keep announcing things, aren't they? Even today, I was just like, I threw in the towel. I'm like, I'm so tired, dude. This is way too much to talk about. I will have a gigantic video out tomorrow, though. At least that's the plan as of right now. I really want to get something out about this because there's so much more to say than just me giving my banter on a live stream, I think. Miami Vibes, dude, thank you for being a member for 5 months, man. I really do appreciate that. I went to Miami a couple years ago. Really fun city, let me tell you. I'm waiting on Scary Movie 6. I hope they don't water it down to be less offensive and go all out. Well, Miami Vibes, that's one of the biggest things they've said about it so far. We don't even know the full cast list or, we know a release date. We don't know a full cast list. We don't know the plot or nothing. But the one thing they have said is that they're not going to water it down. It's going to be Scary Movie at its core, right? And that's good. I mean, I have said it for a long time now that I think comedy is comedy. It's funny, jokes are jokes. As long as they're jokes are jokes. And I'm open-minded to comedies coming back. I really would like to see. I would really like to see that happen. And if Scary Movie is a success, maybe that could be a pipeline for something along those lines. Me personally too. There's so many thousands comedies that I just go back to so many times. They were a big part of my childhood. Would love to see some of those come back. I would love to see that come back in full swing at some point. That would be a lot of fun. Comedies have been dead, like dead in the water for years now. And it's always something adjacent, right? It's always like, okay, we're going to throw some comedy into a superhero movie or a property that's already popular. I love the Sonic movies. They're great. They're funny. They're excellent. I love all three of the Sonic movies. They're a really good time. But again, to get people like Jim Carrey in a movie nowadays, it just seems like it has to be part of some kind of well-established big IP, which I guess does make me a little sad. All in all, like I wish we could do things where it's just Jim Carrey doing his fucking thing. Drizzy Fest is saying we need a Step Brothers sequel. Yeah. I mean, like that's the kind of shit I guess I'm looking for next. I love horror, man, but comedy is always going to have a big portion of my heart too. So I'm really hoping that Scary Movie 6 is able to kind of kick that door open. Maybe make Hollywood take some more chances on some crazier comedy out there like that, because unfortunately the truth is there's always going to be somebody at the butt of every joke. That's just how it works. So I'm excited to see what ends up happening with this one. We'll see what Scary Movie 6 does. I hope it's good. Miami Vibes, thank you for being a member for 5 months, my friend. Really do appreciate you a bunch. So much love. People even shit on Jeepers Creepers 3, but I thought it was excellent. My second favorite being the original. Damn, okay. See, my thing about Jeepers Creepers is that I watched these movies when I was a kid, and I found out about all the other shit behind the scenes later on. So I mean, I'm in this weird spot with that franchise, Like I really do those movies scared the hell out of me when I was a kid, so they're very nostalgic for me. But it's a big blemish on the series to know all the things about Victor Salva, which fucking sucks, man. But I will say Jeepers Creepers 2 especially, that was one of the movies as a kid that scared me so bad, like I couldn't sleep. It was one of those situations for me. It's one of the reasons I love horror, honestly. And I kind of hate that it's this franchise that kind of did that for me. But the opening scene of Jeepers Creepers 2 is a kid getting abducted by the creeper, and I remember it scared me so bad. I couldn't sleep. Like there was multiple nights where I was just like, I'm not sleeping. That's like that dude's coming through my window, and he's jerking me up into the sky there. I remember being so scared of that fella. So it's a weird situation with that franchise. I don't like to get into it often because of everything that happened with it, but I do have a lot of weird nostalgia for that one, which is unfortunate, I guess, right? But yeah, weird scenario, weird situation overall. Jake, what are the random betting odds that Mark ends up being Ghostface? I wouldn't shoot this down by any means. I definitely think, like, I'm leaning towards Joel McHale probably being like an opening scene kill or some kind of emotional death in the film, because I think we need that for Scream 7. We kind of got robbed of that a few times in Scream 6. So I'm just thinking about how can Scream 7 improve from the previous entry. That's an area for me personally. Have that emotional death that almost kind of feels like a staple in the Scream series now, especially after so many have happened. What is going on with my browser here? This is so weird. I have another screen open where I have YouTube and Kick on, and then nothing happens. It just completely goes away. And by the way, I see that Just Jess is hanging out with us over on Kick. I'm so sorry. It's so funny that we're talking about this. My other monitor is just taking a shit right now. I don't know what's going on. But hello, Jess. How are you? Why are you blue? You're green now as well. So what's up, fella? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for talking a little horror with us, even though I know you're not crazy about horror movies. Appreciate you a bunch, my friend Jess. Thank you for being here. But yes, getting back to this a little bit here. Mark being Ghostface, I'm not completely against it. I think it makes a little more sense now that it's not Mark Kincaid. I'm a little more into the idea, but then again, this is the guy who supposedly had children with Sidney Prescott, and they've supposedly been married for a long time. I'm like, why would this guy be Ghostface? This dude is playing the long game of a lifetime. I just don't know if I don't know if that's in the cards. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's completely realistic, but I'm not. Again, I'm less. I don't hate this as much as Mark Kincaid going Ghostface. That I'm like, no way in hell. This makes a little more sense, but I do feel like Joel McHale is totally the replacement because they couldn't get Patrick Dempsey over that little pay dispute they had. So, honestly, what I think is going to happen is Mark's going to die. That to me is 100. That's like where I'm not 100% leaning towards. 99% there, though. let's say that. So. Jess is saying, I know nothing. Jess, hey, you know what? I just appreciate you for stopping by and listening to me rant. Appreciate you a bunch. We got to play Call of Duty sometime. It's been too long. It's been far too long. Far too long. So thank you for being with us. If you're listening to me talk to Jess over on Kick and you're like, what are you talking about, Jake? Who are you? Are you talking to yourself right now? Maybe I am actually just going crazy. Maybe there isn't another platform I'm streaming to. And maybe I'm just talking to the voices in my head. That could be the case. I don't know. I'm not sure. Perry, I'm going to get to this in 2 seconds. I need some water. My old Jake's mouth is dry here. Got to moisten it up. Who hates that word? I want to hear a show of hands. Show of hands for who hates the word moist. I'll keep saying it. No, I'm kidding. Kidding. Do you think Scream 7 will turn into Fast and Furious? You know, listen, here's my honest to God opinion on that is, you know, Fast and Furious is so far down the line at this point. We have gotten so ridiculous with these movies. I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know. I don't know what's happening in Fast and Furious at this point. It's at the point where we turned into like this little tiny like heist and kind of, you know, thriller, just fun like action movie. We turned that into it's not a thriller. It's just an action. It's an action movie with cars and big muscly men. We turned that into absolute just fan fiction. I don't even know what Fast X was, and I think it is absolute. It's so over the top. It's so ridiculous. Has Scream gotten to that point yet? No. Admittedly, I don't think it's gotten even halfway to that point yet. There have been some stretches, of course, and like I've said in the past, I don't think you can really have a great horror franchise without some gaps in logic, because otherwise you're just telling a story based in reality, and that's no fun either. There's a fine line between things getting too outlandish and too close to the reality. You got to find that middle ground to really tell some kind of fun fictional story, because fiction is always more fun than reality, as they say. So you don't want it to be too close to reality either. Has Scream turned into Fast and Furious? I don't think so quite yet. Even with all the crazy updates we've been getting in the last couple of days, weeks, I wouldn't even say it's gone that far yet, because again, I think they can still utilize these actors, which nothing has been confirmed yet. We have to make that very clear. Nothing has been confirmed if Stu is alive or dead yet. Depending on how they're utilized, that question has various answers, I think is really the truth of it. We can't say until we see Scream 7. And I know, listen, I'm a culprit of this. I've definitely been a little prejudgmental of this film before we even got into it. But man, there is some weird updates with it. Like there's no denying that. There's no denying that some of these updates have been pretty strange and make you question what the hell's going on. But you know, is it Fast and Furious yet? I don't think we can answer that quite yet. But the trend is looking like yes, is what I'll say. That's what it's looking like to me, but I'm hoping not. I'm hoping it doesn't get that outlandish. But who knows? Is it still fun though? Is Scream still fun? I'm still talking about it, aren't I? I'm still having a really good time talking about it nonetheless. So there is that. And Jess does not like the word moist, just so everyone knows. So I said it again. That there you go. Perry, thank you for the 5 though, my friend. I don't think we're quite there yet. Let's hope we don't get any closer. I'm sad you're not excited, Jake. Don't worry about Stu and the other killers coming back. The new killer is going to use AI tech to resurrect them. We are so excited. This won't kill the franchise. You know, I'm excited for everybody else. I'm really excited that the passengers of the Stu train are over the moon right now, and that I don't want to kill that excitement. I really don't. If you guys are excited for Scream 7, be excited. That's awesome. And I think everybody just has different things that they're looking for from franchises, especially like Scream. When I mean, this is a franchise that has so much to offer, truly. I mean, going back even just to the first entry, if we're just talking about Scream 1, there is so much going on in that movie. There are great characters. There's excellent there's revolutionary commentary, I would even go so far as to say. It is a groundbreaking horror movie, man. The definition of such. And, you know, now I just feel like the franchise, when you have that high of an expectation, right? When you do something that is so monumental like that, to do anything lesser, even if that is still of a quality product, I guess it is just an easy thing to become a victim of comparison, right? I think that's my thing with Scream 7 is that most Scream sequels, I don't think come close to the majesty, the excellence that is that original film. I like the sequels. They're a lot of fun. I don't think anything comes close to the original. And I don't think anything ever will. And I think, but even with that being said, I think there is a part of my animal brain here that's thinking like, hey, maybe there's a chance for that, right? I get excited with every sequel to think that might happen. But I don't know. I guess I am lowering my expectations for Scream, but maybe that's a good thing. You know, maybe overall that is a good thing because I've held this franchise up to such a high standard. Maybe lowering expectations, I can have a little more fun with the sequel. So I don't want to. That's not me like giving up on the series or anything. I was being a little over dramatic last night, admittedly. But I was just realistically just trying to be fun. Calling the streams breaking news, Stu is alive. I mean, come on, that's supposed to be a little silly, right? But at least I hope, right? Let's hope it's not reality. But to me, I'm still excited for Scream 7. It's still going to be fun, but I just don't know if it's going to, be as great as that original film. And maybe that's not possible, and that's just an unrealistic expectation, But that is definitely what's been bouncing around my brain lately. Is this is a sequel to one of the best horror movies of all time? Don't mess this up. That's definitely something I'm worried about. Why I'm so critical of this series, maybe more than others, which I definitely get a lot of flack for. I see your guys' comments, a lot of people are like, I just can't believe this guy built his page off of Scream and he's crapping on the new movie. I'm honest. I'm honest, and sometimes I pay for it. But realistically, I'm not the craziest fan of nostalgia fueling a movie. The reason we love the original Scream is more than just nostalgia. It is literally looking at, yes, it is looking back at horror's past, but it's doing something to completely subvert everything that you've come to know. And that's the brilliance of it. It didn't just completely take the nostalgia crutch and lean on it. And that to me is what's excellent about the original Scream. But some of these new movies, I feel like they're not really subverting our expectations. They're just doing exactly what's expected. And just bringing everybody back from the dead, or just having them utilized in some sort of AI voice box. To me, that's a way to try to get people that's a way to try to get people to come see your new movie versus actually pushing a new and fantastic plot forward. And I guess that's the thing I'm worried about, overall. This is one of my favorite series of all time, and I would hate to see it just fall into something like that. But that to me, that's just my 2 cents. Again, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. I see so many people excited right now, and that puts a goddamn big old smile on my face. Let me tell you, I'm so happy to see people so excited for a horror movie, man. Nothing warms my heart more. Let me tell you, as a big horror fan, I'm so happy that other people are so happy. So that to me, that's where my excitement lies right now, and that's a good thing. That's okay. Pirated Copy is saying, I am an outlaw with a black heart. Is this a quote from something? Am I just totally missing this? What's up, Pirated Copy? How you doing, dog? I just hope they don't go down the stupid route and have Dewey be alive, like I heard Courtney Cox wanted to happen. Yeah, and that's another conversation. It really is. It really is another conversation. Are they going to do that? Are they going to do something along those lines just because fans want it to happen? I don't know. I don't know if I love Dewey. It's one of those things where I'm like, I love Dewey. And if you retcon the sequels and bring everybody back, I don't hate that either. I really like Halloween 2018, what it was able to do. And if you can do that for Scream, I'm open-minded to it. But yeah, there's just some things where I'm like, I don't know if this is. What are the reasonings behind this, I guess, is the question. As of right now, if we get a good answer to that question, I'm on board. I'm back on board. Let's rock and roll. So, did you know that the Peter Pan actor Martin Portlock said on his Instagram that he helped work that he was helping working on the Pinocchio animatronic for the film? He said that working on the puppet was amazing and crazy. I've seen like some, I think they posted like a video or whatever, right, of the puppet. It looks fucking sick, man. I'm excited for Pinocchio. This is, of course, the horror take on Pinocchio from our friends over at Jagged Edge Productions. I hope it's good. I'm very excited for this one, let me tell you. Definitely the TCU movie I'm probably the most excited for. Pooniverse, of course, too. I think that's gonna be ridiculous. You want to talk about a movie bringing back all the characters? There you go. So that one I'm excited for. That's crazy, but nutty shit here. Hope all is well. Thank you, Cody, Jake, and Madison in chat. Watch out, the Hard Eyes Killer may come after you next, Jake. Oh, you just kidding. You okay, IRL? Thanks, Cody. I'm great. I'm fantastic right now, Cody. Things are excellent. So yeah, Madison and I have a fun weekend though. We're gonna go see some movies, gonna get some good food, maybe get a drink with some friends. Who knows what's happening? But hopefully, Hard Eyes isn't stalking the streets of Ohio cities. let's hope. Alyssa Bruce is with us. What's up, Alyssa? How you doing? I love the fact that Stu is back. I feel like Stu is obsessing over Sydney, and he's going to escape a psych ward and find Sid, going on a spree and showing footage of the plot of killing her mom and bring it full circle. There we go. Well, Alyssa, in that case, it might happen. It might just happen, and it's a possibility as of right now. We've cracked that egg open. Excuse me. And anything can happen. And even though I have my criticisms of Stu coming back, I think the idea of anything happening in a new horror movie is just so much fun. I like that the possibilities are kind of endless for Scream. I'll admit that was the thing I was complaining about, and now it kind of feels like they could do anything with this. In this new realm of thinking, in this new space of mind, and that to me does have me a little excited for it. So who knows? Maybe they bring Stu back and it's completely ridiculous and just a major camp fest of fun. And I don't, again, I don't know if that's what I'm looking for from Scream, but will I have a good time with that? Probably. Matthew's my favorite. He plays my favorite killer in the whole franchise. So, we have Jess saying, I know so little about horror movies that I didn't even know McDreamy was in them. Hell yeah, McDreamy is in the third one. He plays Mark Kincaid. He's the detective down in Hollywood, trying to figure out who Ghostface is in that entry. And Jess, I know a little funny story about Jess that she watched the movie Fresh with Sebastian Stan and threw up, couldn't handle it. And yes, I'm totally embarrassing her live on the live on the internet right now. She's just here for moral support too, as I'm making fun of her. God, I'm such a jerk. But honestly, Jess, I think you could totally handle Scream. Scream is a ton of fun. It's really a horror series for horror fans alike, but also people who are new to horror. Getting into it, right? So it's really not that hardcore. It's nothing too bloody or gory. It's just a fun time. And that's what I really like about Scream. It's got a lot of commentary about other movies, that's for the horror fans coming to check it out for sure. But it's really not too scary or anything. It's more just like a fun little thriller, with some Scooby-Doo mystery elements to it. So I think you would like it. And Jess's review is Gag a Maggot. It was disgusting talking about Fresh. That's so funny. Scream is why I don't like horror movies. My parents watched it when I was a kid and it scarred me for life. Whoo! Wow. Okay. Never mind. Okay. Shit. I'll just shut up. that one's too much for you. It's honestly, as an adult though, I think they're just fun. I think they're just fun little movies. I'd probably show them to my kids one day. Kind of vibe. I don't know. They're fun to me. They're a good time. But Jess said Ghostface scarred her for life. So I'll shut up. What do I know? You were little. I was terrified of Chucky too, Jess. I remember running out of the living room when I was a kid because Seed of Chucky was on, and I think that is so funny nowadays. Devin is saying, what percentage chance would you give Stu is just a flashback or dream scene? I would say that's totally I think it's one of three things, and that's one of them. So 33%. It's one of three things for sure. It's either like flashback dream sequence style thing. It could be like well, that fits flashback is showing the Marine Prescott stuff. It could be like an old video, maybe that Randy was shooting some crazy bullshit. I mean, we know he had a camera. We know he was filming himself, around that same time. So I don't know, maybe he shot a video with Stu and Billy that just gets uncovered in this movie for whatever reason. Or it's Stu is alive and he's back. I really think there's a third of 33.3 repeating chance of all these things happening across the board. I feel like it's one of those three things. But I don't know. And I know some people are like, Jake, that's ridiculous. They're not going to bring Stu back. Are you sure though? Are you sure, man? I don't know. Some fans I know would lose their minds if Stu was back. That's my thing. I'm not ruling it out until I see the damn thing. My kids loved Scream. Hell yeah, rock on. I showed my nephew Troy, who's in Chicken Man, by the way. He's awesome. That was his first acting gig ever. He had so much fun. He had a good time on set. I showed him Scream and Scream 2 so far, and he really liked it. And then I bought him Halloween 4 for his birthday a little while. Or no, that was Christmas, I think, a few years ago. I bought him Halloween 4 because it's a kid versus Michael Myers. I'm like, that's perfect. That's great the great way for a kid to get into Halloween is starting with 4, which I know probably sounds ridiculous, right? But I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking about from his perspective. I want to get the guy into horror. He loves horror movies, and I think it's really cool. So. It's so funny. My nephew and I, we talk about horror movies, and my niece Evelyn, who is awesome, we talk about anime. So we have a bunch of connections there. It's great. I have some wonderful family in my life. It's awesome. So some great stuff there. Shout out to them. Emma Roberts is confirmed for Scream 7. I actually have to check. This is one of those things where I'm like, I have to check now at this point. I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore. Oh my God. I'm not seeing anything about that personally, but if that does happen, dear God. Oh my God, it's getting crazy out here. I hope so. You know, honestly, at this point, if they're gonna bring back dead killers, man, if we're just ripping that Band-Aid off, bring back all the good ones. Screw it, I don't care. Let's see what happens. Phoenix 2520 is saying, Jake, what's up, my guy? Your friendly neighborhood snowman here. I gotta take time to tell you, I told you so. You did. You told me so. I'm officially hopping aboard the stew train again. Got to go get my ticket redeemed. Got to go visit the conductor sometime. But I'm hopping back on the stew train, baby. Let's go. So exciting. But my first movie was Scream. No way. When you were 4, and I watched it for the first time when it came out in 1996, and that is what started my obsession with horror. See, that's so wonderful. Another reason why I'll always love the Scream franchise is it's responsible for getting so many people into horror movies. Because I mean, think about it. If you've never seen a horror movie before, and you know, maybe you're someone who's like, oh, they're too much for me. You know, they're too scary. You're not going to want to start with Terrifier. You're not starting with Art the Clown. You're not starting with Art the Clown. You're not starting with some bizarre foreign film that like just has like some crazy messages that you know that are just maybe way too much for a casual viewing. Scream is just the best entry place for horror. I feel like most Scream fans have probably seen a Scream movie in their lifetime. I don't know. It's a wonderful series for that reason. I love that it's gotten so many people, especially people from my generation, into horror. So I will always love this series, no matter what they do. Even if they bring Stu back to life, I will always love this series no matter what. But it's just a wonderful thing. I hear stories like that all the time, Melissa, and it's wonderful to hear. Because horror is such a special thing, man. It's a great genre. I think even today, when there are so many genres of movies that have kind of just fallen flat in a lot of regards. Me personally, I haven't seen a ton of great like rom-coms or just comedies in general. We were kind of talking about that earlier. There's been a few, there's been some standouts here and there that's like, whoa, no way. That's awesome. Comedy, Hundreds of Beavers. Really good one. If you guys haven't seen that one, hilarious. Fucking loved it. Let's get a rom-com out there. Fuck it. Anyone But You. Is that what it's called? With Sydney Sweeney. I fucking loved it. I don't care what anyone says. Great movie. Anyone But You. That's what it is. 2023. Fight Me on That. Great movie. They made a horny rom-com again. I don't remember the last time I saw one of those, and it's finally coming. It's finally coming back. We're finally doing that stuff again. So I don't know. There's a lot of good movies, some outliers out there, but I just hope we can push some other things into full swing. But point being, horror has consistently been good over the years, and that's a hard thing to accomplish in any genre, I would say. So it's really cool that we always have these unique voices in horror, and there's always another good horror movie to watch every year, man. It's what literally it keeps me in business. So it's great. I love it. Horror, best genre out there. Nothing beats it. Ironically, my first Scream film was Scream 5. So I was confused on who Dewey was at first when he died. And I was like, who the hell was that? But I watched the OGs and now it's sadder. It's so much sadder when you see the other movies. Oh my God, it's hard, dude. I was heartbroken the first time I saw it. I was like, no way. Oh my God. I mean, that's like, to me, that's like if Shaggy died in like the live action Scooby-Doo movies. I mean, that's Matthew Lillard, hilariously enough. But like, if that happened, I would be emotionally unavailable. I would be like, I gotta sit in a corner for 2 weeks. What do you mean Shaggy's dead? I was so bummed out, but I also had so much respect for Radio Silence to have the balls to do something like that. I mean, we were talking about it. We were like, maybe they'll kill Dewey. I don't know. I don't know if they'll actually go that far. They're the new kids on the block. That was the conversation. They're like, they're not going to do anything too crazy. Scream 5 is going to be a safe back to basics style Scream film, and then we're going to get something weirder next, maybe. I'm totally going off of what Halloween 2018 did there. That was kind of my stream of thought. And then going into that movie and getting so many shocks and surprises, so many things that I just did not think Radio Silence would want to do, would want to go to certain places, and they did. They done did that. And again, I know so many people hate those new movies, but I have so much respect for Radio Silence. They did some fucking crazy shit with this franchise, and I think it's cool. I think they've opened up the gate for an unlimited amount of Scream sequels too, which is obviously another debate. Should Scream go on forever? Should it end at some point? I think Ghostface as a concept is just so cool that you could keep it going forever if you wanted to. And I think the Radio Silence movies have laid the foundation for something like that if they want to take it down that route. So for me personally, I think they've done nothing but positives for the franchise, even though I know some people are hearing that and saying, no, you're wrong. That's crazy. I love these movies. I really like Screams 5 and 6. Not my favorite from the entire franchise. I've gone on record and said Scream 4 is easily my favorite sequel nowadays, because there are faults to both of them, 5 and 6. But I do love a lot of the bigger swings that these movies were able to take. Some big shocks, some fun twists and turns, even though, of course, I have my criticisms of some of the things that do happen in those movies. But man, they're fun. Love them. Love my Radio Silence guys, too. I can't wait to see what they do next. Oh, Abigail? Oh, so much fun. Loved Abigail. Speaking of good movies from them. Craven Something Scary says it's too late to board. Yeah? I'm getting them on. We're hashing this out, buddy. Him and I are hashing this out. We're talking. We're getting into it at some point. He has been going nuts in our group chat, which is so funny. He cracks me up. He is over the moon about all this. He is so happy. But him and Fate have been have been going back and forth, which is so funny. But he's great. I just love his energy so much, and I know he's gonna probably love this movie, whatever it ends up being. Just because Matthew has some sort of role here. Dead Alive is good entry-level horror. Dead Alive? Dude, Dead Alive is one of the bloodiest movies I have ever seen in my entire life. Like genuinely. There's more blood in this movie than I think most Terrifier films, which is so crazy to say. There is a scene in this movie where a guy takes a lawnmower to like hundreds of zombies, and and blood and meat fills the room. Jesus, what a movie. I love Dead Alive though. Oh my God. Love this film so much. It's a great like zombie comedy style movie. It's so much fun. So brutal. Peter Jackson's early stuff is so good. I've been getting into some of that lately. I just watched what is it? Meet the Feebles recently. If you guys have never seen that movie, oh my God, it's so ridiculous. So over the top. Really enjoyed that one. It's basically like an evil misanthropic version of the Muppets. And if you're into stuff like that, if you're into really twisted puppet humor, you've not the widest subgenre of movies ever, but let me tell you, that one's fun. There's a hippo with a machine gun in that movie. So, I mean, have you ever seen that before? I haven't. You think Skeet Ulrich comes back too? So Coop is saying that Deadline confirmed that Skeet is back, but So here's what I've seen personally. I've seen that Daniel Richtman, a third-party source, has put that out that said that Skeet might be back as well. Is there a Deadline article that might have happened? I might have missed it. Deadline. I'm just gonna look up Deadline Skeet Ulrich to see what pops up. Yeah, I don't know if I'm seeing anything on that. I wouldn't be shocked. Like honestly, I would not be shocked if Skeet gets confirmed. I mean, he's already been in the last two. he's literally in the last two movies. I would not be shocked by that one bit. Evil Dead is a good entry-level horror? What? Oh my God, that's crazy. Evil Dead was a movie that scarred me as a kid. I've told this story before, but I love telling it because I think it's so funny. My dad gave me the birds and the bees talk. He gave me that talk, and you know what did he do afterwards? He showed me Evil fucking Dead, dude. He's like, okay, now that you know. Now that you know what happens, let's watch Evil Dead. And he paused it at the tree scene and was like, see? I love my dad. That did scar me a little bit. I was like, what? I was like 10 years old, dude. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Evil Dead scarred me as a kid. Exactly. That's what lies beneath. What? That's crazy, dog. But that's really funny, man. Oh my God, scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid. Tell you what, my dad terrified me that day. Danny would be a crazy twist killer for 7. Bring him back. He's still alive. You know, he's still alive from the last entry. Again, this is another character where I'd just be wondering, you know, what are they doing there if Sam's not in the movie? Kind of, you know, I have the same question about the Meeks Martin twins. There's so many questions about Scream. You know, what are Chad and Mindy doing in this film? What's Scott Foley and Matthew Lillard doing in this? There's so many questions. There's genuinely just so many questions to be answered at this point. Which, as much as I have just weird things to say about it overall, it is exciting to know that maybe there's a possibility out there that things could go well. Right? So I'm into it. We'll see. Do you think Hard Eyes will get a sequel? Galaxy Production Films. These are questions I just can't answer until you see the movie. All I'm going to say about this is that I do have an answer in mind. Might not be what you expect me to say, though. That's all I'm going to say. I won't say any more than that. I'm already getting a little tiptoeing a little too close to the line on that one. Imagine if Stu's actually alive. He's finally released from prison, and the first thing he says is, "Zoinks!" Hiya, Sid. Jesus Christ. If that's the route that they go, I mean, make it silly. Make it silly. Have fun with it. I don't think it would make sense for Stu to be a silly little guy after spending most of his life in prison, but I don't know. Maybe that made him sillier. Crazy? I was crazy once. They locked me in a rubber room filled with rats. Rats make me crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. So there you go. Maybe it's something along those lines. Anyways, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you guys are all wrong. Stu's not alive. The ghost face is obviously Michael Myers. Actually, Coop, it's actually Corey Cunningham, buddy. So just sit on down, Buster Brown. I'm kidding. This is a wild list. I like this idea for introductory entry level horror. Monster House, Gremlins, Leprechaun, Critters, Alien, Scream. That's fun. I like that. Monster House scared me when I was a kid. I really liked this movie a lot. That one definitely got me into horror for sure. This was one of the movies where I would like run out of the room when the trailer would play because I was too scared of it. But nowadays, I love this film. It is so much fun. Same with most of these movies you got on the list. Alien and Scream are masterpieces, but man, Gremlins is such a great watch for kids, to really get into horror. Leprechaun and Critters are just like crazy B movies essentially with some really campy elements, but they're fun. They're fun for what they are. But yeah, rock on, dude. Some great entry level horror there for sure. Have you seen The Pool 2001? No, I've never even heard of that. Campy, slick, Scream-esque slasher. Damn, I thought I had seen all of them, Chris. I'm gonna be honest. When I first started doing this channel, there were so many movies that people would recommend to me that I never even heard of before. I'm like, what's like what even is that? What is that movie? That's crazy. Swimming Pool or also The Pool. It has two titles. A masked killer slaughters young people having a party at a fancy gymnasium, and the cast is so good. What? James McAvoy, Isla Fish, is it Isla Fisher? I always forget how to pronounce that. John Hopkins, Jesus, what is going? How have I never seen this movie? This is crazy. Oh man, I'm definitely checking this one out. This is crazy. Yo, I thought I had seen a lot of the Scream inspired slashers. There's some weird ones out there that don't even get talked about. Oh man, what's the one with James Marsden? Hang on. I'm looking this up. I don't care. I know I'm streaming right now, but this is important. This is horror history right here, ladies and gentlemen. We got to talk about this a little bit. James Marsden is in a movie where I found it maybe a year or two ago, and I'm like, that was pretty good. Man, that was a good Scream inspired Disturbing Behavior. Disturbing Behaviors is one of those movies where I'm like, that's one that doesn't get talked about enough. That was pretty good. Really enjoyed that movie. There's something falls like road. I can't remember. There's a lot of them though. There's a lot of them, and I'm sure I've missed some before. But I definitely try to get into a lot of them that I had missed. Just to really watch them. The Pool is what Night Swim should have been. That you're really not hyping this one up too much, Jet. I'm gonna be totally real. Tony Grimm loved the Final Destination profile picture. Do you think Kimberly Corman is coming back for Final Destination Bloodlines? Hang on, who's that again? Oh man, you done stumped me. You done stumped me. Kimberly. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, she's okay, and Final Destination 2. I don't know. I really don't know if this one is going to have any connections to the past besides Tony Todd. We know about Tony Todd, which is really cool. And I'm so excited for that. Rest in peace, dear God. That is so upsetting. But I'm so glad he's there. But I guess I am excited about this new cast. A little bit, right? It's new characters getting attacked. Maybe make it a one shot again. There are obviously other movies in the past that have connected to each other, which is really cool. But some of them are mostly kind of what they are. But I don't know. I don't know about Final Destination Bloodlines. Will it do something along those lines? Will it connect to stories previously? Well, Tony Todd's involved, so I think that's absolutely a possibility. Again, I think because there has been such a gap between 5 and this one. 5 was 2011, if I'm not mistaken. It was like early 2010s, right? It's like 2011 or 2012, one of those years. Wow, I'm so behind on. Whoa. Something is going on with my other browser tonight. I'm so sorry, everybody. So sorry about all that. But yeah, will it connect to the past? I guess my only reason why I would think it wouldn't is just because there has been such a gap between movies. And even like 28 years later, which had a very clear point to jump off of from where the sequel left off from like the mid-thousands. Even that movie's retconning that shit, which doesn't even make any sense. But I think the reason they're doing something along those lines is because they want to just tell a new story in the same franchise years later. They don't want to make people go back and watch movies again in case they've forgotten, right? Tony, I'm sure you've seen the Final Destination movies a ton of times, like myself, because my God, I love these films a bunch. But to cater to the general audience, I guess I could totally see. I could totally see them kind of just starting fresh with a new story. Maybe Tony Todd is the one little semblance of what came before it. But I wouldn't mind this. I wouldn't mind connections to the past either in that franchise. I think that could be fun. But yeah, again, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the case just because of the big time gap. So who knows? I guess we'll find out soon. Because Tony Todd was a late announcement. That was a later announcement than the rest of the cast. So you never know what's going to happen. Mark, thank you for the the savior. Cherry Falls is that other Scream inspired horror movie that I was thinking about. That's another one that I feel like doesn't get talked about a lot as much as like I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legends, or Urban Legend. What's another one? The Faculty, I guess, gets brought up some just because it's got a really big cast. Final Destination. Yeah, that's definitely another one. The Halloween sequels that are Scream inspired, I feel like get talked about a lot in this conversation. Martian, what's up, fella? Love the Mac Miller profile picture. Great album. I love you, Jake, but has anyone ever told you that you would play a great Steve in an American Dad live action? I would do that in a heartbeat. Oh my God. His voice is a little higher up than mine, right? It's a little up there. I can't do the voice, but I could practice. I could get it down. That's really funny. I would eat that role. I would go for it. I would totally go for it. That'd be a lot of fun. I definitely have the forehead for it. He's got a big old forehead like me, so I love that. I love that so much, Martian. I've had a lot of people say, give me like the most hilarious comparisons to other actors and actresses in high school. So many people told me I looked like Tilda Swinton, which I still think, like I still have PTSD from, frankly. I don't know. It just cracks me up. But yeah, I don't know. Very funny stuff. I fucking love you, dude. I fucking love you, Martian. I think that's your name. Martian High Mile. That's a sick name, dog. That sounds like a prog rock band right there. Dig it. Tony Grimm is also saying, I love those movies a lot, by the way. I've been a subscriber for a long time. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that a bunch. Appreciate you subscribing to the page. Means a whole lot. Means a whole lot to old Jake. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, speaking of subscribers, we're almost at 30,000 subs. Holy shit. Thank you guys so much for almost that. It's coming. It's coming soon. Probably another month and we'll hit that. But oh my God, like, thank you guys so much. It's been nuts watching that. Watching it get closer and closer. It's crazy. I don't know. Crazy time to be alive. Let me tell you. What other killers do you think we will see in Scream 7 because Stu and Roman are coming back? I think Billy for sure. I think, here's my thing. Stu, Roman, and Billy are all connected. I really think that we could have all three of those characters come back for some sort of Marine flashback if we're doing that. See, here's the thing, Galaxy. If it was just Stu, I mean, I'd be almost I'd be 50% on Stu's coming back, or 50% they're using a flashback or something. That's where my headspace was be. But having Scott Foley, having him back, announcing that first and then announcing Matthew Lillard, to me that says they're doing something more with this than just a Stu revival. And I've made my jokes in the last few days, and it's been a lot of fun. Hop aboard the Stu train. But what I really think is happening here, I really do believe that in some capacity they're using them for whatever the new ghost faces are going to be. And I really like this theory about the AI voices, like the killers using that to emulate them. That's a lot of fun to me. I'm so into something like that. That could be sick. That could be cool if utilized well. Even though it is just kind of it's a very long workaround to just get the nostalgia baiting shoehorned into this new movie, right? But whatever. Cool if that's the case. But I'm nearly 100% sure Skeet Ulrich will be back if those two are back. And who knows? Maybe some other killers pop up too. But I think for sure at least those three. I think we can call it a safe bet for those. Emma Roberts maybe not, just because again, maybe they're just doing some sort of Marine callback, getting back to the original story of Scream, right? Maybe that's what they're trying to do here, and not much else. But I don't know. What I do know is that, considering that Scream 5 and Scream 6 did mirror a lot of the elements of the first two films, Scream 5 more so with the original, Scream 6 with Scream 2, I could totally see Scream 7 building upon Scream 7. Sorry, I said that the wrong way. I could totally see Scream 7 building upon Scream 3 in some sort of way, maybe even smoothing that story out. I'm talking best case scenario here for sure. And an unlikely scenario as well. But maybe there's some ways that we can go back to the past and just correct some of the things that maybe didn't work so well. There are some things in Scream 3 that just don't make a ton of sense on paper. There should have been two ghost faces, because otherwise spatial logic is out the window in that film. So I don't know. There are things that I feel like we could correct and go back to the past if we wanted to do that. I don't know if that's going to be the focal point, though. Again, it goes back to the whole conversation we were just talking about earlier. Will we expect people to see all the movies that came before to tell this new story, or will we just reward those people who have seen all the movies and know them really well with just fun little Easter eggs? I get why Hollywood does these things. Don't get me wrong. I have my complaints about it, but it makes sense. It makes sense why Hollywood would do make it little Easter eggs like this, opposed to big story elements, just so the general audience doesn't get confused. I get it, but at the same time, I want some more. I guess I just want some more complex narratives and not everything has to call back to the past, But I digress. Okay, a few more things, and then old Jake's got to probably sign off here. Have I gotten a call? Because real quickly wanted to make sure no one's okay. Yeah, no, we're chilling. We are chilling. King Matthew III is saying, I also had a theory that Randy was the second killer to kill Casey Becker, him and Stu, because he knew her liver was in the mailbox. There's no way Billy could make it to Sydney's in time. I love that line. They found her liver in the mailbox. He does that goofy voice. That's so crazy. In that case, I guess maybe that gives a new meaning, if we're entertaining this, that gives a new meaning to Nancy killing Randy, right? Maybe it's like, oh my God, he was in on it and he's pretending he's a good guy now or something. I don't know. That could be fun. Martian is saying, hot take, I say kill Sydney in Scream 7, break the rules of a victorious final girl and give us something to be mad about. It would make the movie very, very rememberable. There's already things to be mad about, dog. If you're worried about that, whew. Oh man, there's things to be mad about. All right. But yeah, I don't know, I don't know how, I don't know if this would happen or not, but then again, who knows? I guess anything is possible with the new film. I don't think Sydney's going to die though, man. Sydney, to me, I really do agree with Nev Campbell all in all. With her whole take on Sydney represents overcoming trauma and getting past it. There is a possibility where you get past awful things, and you can continue your life onwards and upwards, right? And I kind of love that. It's wholesome, maybe a little too wholesome for a slasher franchise, but I do love it nonetheless. So if there's any character that's ever safe in a slasher movie, which I don't think there should be too many of them, Sydney is really one of the only ones where I'm like, okay, I can get into that. You made a good point. Fine. She'll be the outlier. But yeah, I much prefer my slasher movies to be how Terrifier handles it. Everybody should be a blood bag for some sort of death opportunity, right? You can still tell compelling stories that way too. You know, it's not Scream is not the only formula to not the only medium to be able to do something like that. So I'm very into it. I'm very into. I'm open-minded to the idea of killing Sydney, but I don't think it'll ever happen realistically. ASMR Nocturnal is saying, saw Companion last night, and it was mid to me. I don't know. Sorry, Jake. I haven't seen it yet, so I have no opinion. Hey, listen, no reason to be sorry about your opinion, my friend. This is the place to voice those opinions, dog. Let it be known. Let it be known. This is admittedly ASMR Nocturnal. This is the first negative review I've seen about the film. I've yet to see one until just right now here at 8:48 p.m. Eastern time. so that's kind of crazy. I'm probably going to try to see it tomorrow night if I can. Really would want to get on this one as soon as possible. I don't know. I'm hyped. A lot of people, most people have said it's good. You're the first person who said something negative about it, so I'm kind of shocked. So I mean, I guess that's kind of the plan for the weekend. I do want to have some videos up. I'm gonna take a break. I think honestly, two things I want to announce. I definitely have some videos coming up this weekend. Want to talk about all this Scream news because it's fucking insane. It's gonna be a big video tomorrow. And I want to get a companion. Definitely want to get a companion video out this weekend if possible too. But sometime in March, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm going to need a break. I'm going to go hard this month while, Scream 7 is still filming. And I think once Scream 7 production goes down, I'm taking a little tiny break from YouTube because, oh my God, this week especially, I was jumping through some hoops to make things happen. 5 streams and 5 videos, dude. Oh my God. Like that was nuts. On top of all of that too, I helped paint a house. So, dear God, it's been crazy. It's been a nutty 5 days. So I'm definitely taking. Once Scream 7 is done filming, I think I'm definitely taking a little break. I'm just telling you guys that right now. I kind of made that decision this morning. I dragged myself out of bed to make that Hard Eyes review, and then I was like, I was working through that Scream video, and more news came up, and I'm like, I'm throwing in the towel for the day, man. I gotta rest. Took a nap, watched a horror movie here for the stream, and we're gonna call it a week. But you guys will see some fun videos this weekend, I promise. Definitely making that happen if I can. And then, of course, we'll be going hard again next week as well. But guys, thank you so much. I have so much love for you guys. This has been such a fun week, all in all, with some of the craziest news I've ever reported on the page, without a doubt. Thank you for hanging out with me through it all, through all the madness, siphoning through it, making sense of whatever's going on. Are we living in the Matrix? Probably. But but truth be told, I'm just so grateful for everything. So much love to you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me and talking horror. It's been nothing short of a blast, even though, yes, I am a little tired. So I'm going to get a nap in, ladies and gentlemen, but I will have some more fun videos for you tomorrow. Sorry about the Midwestern goodbye. Peace out, everybody. Stay safe this weekend. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out!